I am an architect, and I am on a mission to improve lives and heal communities while being a good steward to the environment. I want to share a story with you, a story about a project in a historic district in a North Tulsa neighborhood. We call this place the Joinery. The Joinery is also on a mission. Simply put, its mission is to be a shining example of what is possible when we build beautifully. I hope that this story encourages you to rethink why, what, and how you build, and to possibly consider building beautifully as well. When I first met Nathan Pagard, he shared his vision for his new residence, a residence that was not sustainable, but went beyond sustainability, that helped to bring about a regenerative future, a future that restored its neighborhood, and that actually gave back to its community. He shared with me his passion for urban agriculture and creating community gardens, and he does this work in the middle of a food desert, where lifespans are shortened due to lack of access to healthy food alternatives. Understanding the amazing work Nathan's doing in the community, I asked him to consider using an aspirational rating system, a rating system that would allow us to measure the building's performance in a broad category of topics. This system is called the Living Building Challenge. The Living Building Challenge is the most rigorous rating system in the world today. It places imperatives on project teams and owners across several areas of a building, including sustainable design, how a building addresses the culture of a place, how it meets social equity norms and goes beyond them to create a more socially equitable future, and how the building restores the natural flows that existed on the site before the building did. We decided to investigate using the Living Building Challenge, and we quickly learned that using this system would require a fundamentally different approach to building. It forces you to build beautifully, not just by creating an aesthetically beautiful building, but by being mindful every step of the way. The process is beautiful, and the result is beautiful. This building beautifully approach, this mindfulness, requires that we are intentional with each decision we make, that we understand the impacts of those decisions, not just on the building occupants, but on the neighbors, the community, and the environment. It requires that we ask and answer three fundamental questions. Why am I building? What am I building? And how will I choose to build? After we concluded our investigation, we took the leap and we decided to register Oklahoma's first project seeking Living Building Challenge certification. With less than 24 living buildings in the world today, we realized the word challenge was intentional. We knew we needed a framework of values that we grouped into areas that would help us make the decisions we needed to make to bring this building about. We grouped those into three significant areas. The first area is creating a community-centric home rather than an owner-centric home. Yes, this is a single-family residence. And yes, it is built for a specific family, but there's a significant twist. There is robust urban agriculture taking place on the site just outside these walls. And the Picard family is planning to host large gatherings of community members and friends and neighbors to continue the discussion about healthy food production and meal planning. The second area is to generate more energy and water than the building needs while creating a healthy indoor environment and eliminating waste. We're creating a healthy indoor environment by exhaustively screening each new material that comes into the building, making sure that they're free of chemicals that off-gas into the interior and cause health problems. Because of this, we're focusing on using salvage materials wherever possible. The floor framing above me is created from mass timber that came from a deconstructed mill. And the floor that I'm standing on in its previous life was the dance floor at Tulsa's iconic Cain's Ballroom. We are also eliminating waste on the project. We're looking for people who can take the construction and demolition debris and repurpose it to use it in a meaningful way. We're also understanding that this extends into the life of the building, and the Picard family will be doing food composting as well as examining products that they're bringing into their home, making sure that they're either free from packaging or that that packaging can be recycled or repurposed. We have a solar array on the roof, and excess energy that's created and not needed is transferred back to the electrical grid for others to use. The building design uses a thermal mass wall that is 12 inches of solid masonry, and we've coupled this with a simple mechanical system, LED lighting, and energy-sipping ceiling fans to create a very comfortable and yet very efficient interior environment. Like all residences, this home also has operable windows. And these operable windows are a good example of another area that we focused our values in, and that was balancing opposing systems. You see, the more energy efficient we need our buildings to become, the more control we need to exert over those buildings. And so striking this balance between systems that help us achieve energy efficiency and systems that are essential for our happiness and comfort is critical to achieving a truly sustainable building. Our biggest accomplishment on this project was, without a doubt, related to water use and wastewater disposal. We learned from other Living Building Challenge project teams that this would be our biggest challenge, and they were right. We worked with the City of Tulsa Mayor's Office, the Tulsa City Council, the Tulsa County Health Department, and the Oklahoma Department of Environmental Quality. Everyone we worked with, we were trying to educate them about what we were doing and how unique this project was, and work with them on strategies that we can employ to achieve our intended outcomes. All people that we talked to were so enthusiastic about this project, and they cheered us on, wanting to see it become a reality. But the fact is, we needed regulatory relief. So, after 3 years of discussion with all parties, the Tulsa Mayor's Office stepped up to the plate and drafted a residential net zero water ordinance. This ordinance was then unanimously adopted by the City Council. The ordinance relieves approved projects from connecting to city water and sewer systems, and it also allows them to install on-site wastewater systems to allow them to become net zero water. This is a monumental step for Tulsa, and it is our belief and our desire that future project teams advance on-site water strategies even further by building on the precedent this project has set. Here at the Joinery, we're achieving net positive water. We're doing this by capturing all the water that falls on the roof during rain events. We're filtering it and storing it in cisterns. Then, when it's needed for use in the building, we filter it again. We treat it with a UV treatment system to remove any remaining harmful bacteria and bring it into the building. The wastewater we're handling through a series of composting toilets that sip water rather than flush, and we're coupling that with this aerobic system on site thanks to the new ordinance. So this approach to building that I've outlined for you, this building beautifully approach, I posit to you that this should become our new normal. If we continually seek new ways to build a more sustainable and equitable future for ourselves, our neighbors, our community, and the environment, we can and we will achieve this together. It requires that we ask and answer those three fundamental questions every time we build. Why am I building? What am I building? And how will I choose to build? So I've shared this story with you to inspire you to rethink how you build, and for you to consider building beautifully as well. It does require that you ask and answer those three fundamental questions on your next project, no matter the size or scope of that project. And then ask yourself the most important question of all. Will you build beautifully? Thank you.